Jerusalem's Temple Mount. For some, the site of Herod's Holy Temple.
It was considered the most beautiful building in the world in that period of time. But spiritually, it was not a good place. It was full of corruption.
For others, Herod's temple is simply Zionist propaganda.
This is a place of collision between the three religions.
Now, searching the sacred Western Wall for lost temple treasures.
Archaeology is very much part of this conflict.
A discovery that will surprise many. New evidence places Jerusalem's Western Wall in the eye of a major controversy.
After 25 years in Jerusalem, making excavation all over the city, this is the most important object that I found.
It's going to take the archaeological community a while to digest this new discovery.
In the heart of Jerusalem's old city, the Temple Mount, the Earth's religious crossroads.
Jerusalem is a holy city to the three monotheistic faiths of the sons and daughters of Abraham: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism.
Jerusalem has the word shalem in it, the place for peace. That is what the idea of Jerusalem should be.
This is the center, the heart of Jerusalem, the Temple Mount, right? This is what made Jerusalem.
On the controversial border separating Israel and Palestine, this site is believed to be the location of King Solomon's first temple and the prophesied site of a third temple.
There is the dream of Jerusalem, the image, and the reality.
For over 3,000 years, it has been the site of constant and continuous warfare.
Its influence has spread throughout the world.
For the Jews, the temple is the equivalent of Mecca for the Muslims. It is the Jewish fundamental shrine and location of God.
This was a single temple. The Jews didn't have many temples. They have only one temple in one location and for one God. So this is why it was so central in the Jewish life.
It is the epicenter of religious and cultural and political life for many peoples. What happens there has a resonance with people throughout the world who have concerns for their own political and religious situations. What happens in Jerusalem happens all over the world.
History records Herod the Great restoring the Jewish temple in 20 BC, creating the largest religious shrine in the world.
After 332 years, it was so dilapidated that along came Herod, who was really a bad guy, but he was the king. He killed all the sages, and as an act of remorse, beautified the temple. It was beautiful physically, it was not beautiful spiritually. It was a place of corruption.
But Herod's flaws would be overshadowed by someone much greater.
The temple, as renovated by Herod, would have been the temple that Jesus and the disciples came to.
When Jesus was in Jerusalem, many of the events connected to him, to the city, occurred on the Temple Mount, which included chasing out the money changers, teaching the rabbis when he was 12 years old.
The structure came to be known as the Temple of Jesus. For 2,000 years since, archaeologists, treasure hunters, and truth seekers have been drawn here.
The temple has been the site of thousands of years of archaeological efforts, perhaps dating back to the Knights Templars, if not earlier.
We have to understand that the excavations in Jerusalem is very complicated. There's layers above layers. Some of the structures been reused. Some of them, we don't really know what is myth and what is reality.
Despite centuries of digging, virtually no archaeological evidence of Herod's temple has surfaced. Some Islamic leaders claim it is all a hoax. The temple never existed at all. But others say historical records and the prophecies of Christ himself prove otherwise. The city was decimated, wiping Herod's temple from history.
You know, four Roman legions destroyed Jerusalem. Their numbers were the 5th, the 12th, the 10th, and the 15th.
In 70 AD, there was all-out war on the Temple Mount. Some 6,000 Jews were slain by the armies of Titus.
First-century historian Josephus records Roman forces taking advantage of Jewish infighting.
What they did is they burnt all the food supplies and made it impossible for us to maintain our independence and our strength within the old city walls.
Finally, the defensive fortifications of the city were breached.
After conquering the temple, they went into the so-called upper city. Imagine here in this plaza, Roman army standing, trying to penetrate into the upper city, which is just above us.
People had to leave there. Some Jews fought till the bitter end.
The Romans slaughtered everything that breathed.
They didn't have any pity.
There was no one left standing in Jerusalem. Everybody was killed.
They came in and they burned the whole city. They burned the temple. The fire was so immense that the limestone was deformed.
After the battle, the Roman legions dismantled and destroyed Herod's temple. They cast the stones down the walls. They broke and burned and damaged as much as they possibly could to wipe out any memory of the existence of the temple.
With its destruction in 70 AD, the Temple Mount changed hands for centuries. Captured in 1187, it remained Muslim holy ground for more than 700 years.
It is most unfortunate that when the Muslims built the Dome of the Rock, they actually reached, with the structure, they reached bedrock everywhere, and so they wiped out any remains of the temple itself.
Yonatan Mitraki is an archaeologist with Emek Sheveh, an alternative research institute based in Jerusalem.
I think that the Temple Mount is very much representing two narratives. For the Palestinians, they used to live here for hundreds of years. It's a religious place, it's a holy place, it's a very ancient place. So that's what makes it so complicated.
In 1967, the nation of Israel launched a controversial offensive. the Six-Day War, reclaiming East Jerusalem and the Temple Mount. For the first time in nearly 2,000 years, Jews could control the Mount. Now the site of the Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque, it was left in control of a Muslim authority known as the Waqf.
After 1967, Israel occupied the territories and also East Jerusalem and the whole city. And after 1967, Israel decided to give kind of autonomy to the Islamic Waqf in the Temple Mount.
Officially, it's in Israel's hands, but we gave it over to the Waqf, to the Muslim clergy, and they really kind of run things up there.
Today, the Waqf rules with an iron fist. Archaeology is banned on Judaism's most sacred ground.
The Muslim clerics who run the site, they object any kind of excavation. They are really afraid of any real scientific research that will take place.
But just northeast, one team of investigators is taking a unique approach. Instead of digging through the temple's treasures, they're digging through its trash. In 1999, Waqf authorities began excavations, a new entrance for one of the Temple Mount's mosques. Still bound by Israeli laws, the dig was highly illegal.
They removed a huge amount of dirt, about 400 truckloads of dirt. It was dug illicitly without archaeological supervision.
The discarded debris made headlines. Archaeology student Zaki Zawig saw a controversial treasure.
This was my idea, and this is why we went over to the dump site. And just in 15 minutes, we retrieved so much information, so much artifacts. But apparently, unfortunately, we were stopped by the Antiquities Authority. They didn't want any information to come out of the dump site. It reminded me of like an X-File episode of a UFO site that it's top secret. It was really crazy.
Zawig enlisted the help of mentor and professor Gabriel Barkai.
I was dragged into it by my student, Tzachi, and some other students of mine, and I happily surrendered.
The project finally received approval. Today, Barkai and Zawig operate the Temple Mount Sifting Project.
I found paint.
Is it pottery?
Each day, busloads of volunteers arrive. Amateur archaeologists, keen to restore the temple's glory, piece by piece.
First of all, welcome to the sifting project of soil from the Temple Mount. This picture was taken by the police. You can see the bulldozer and the truck. You can see the southern wall. It was excavated brutally by those bulldozers, and the material was dumped into the Kidron Valley. Sifting is done with water, and again we collect everything which is not natural.
Team leader Moran Hagbi prepares today's recruits.
These are the coins. Now these are clean coins. They came back from a laboratory cleaning. When you'll find a coin, it will look like a green chunk of mud. Spread the material on the tray, that way, and then we'll wash the mud off of it. And that's it. So you can start in these stations and spread on all the stations at this side of the tent and in the other side of the tent. Good luck to everyone.
And with that, the search for the temple begins. What they find may be crucial, because many Muslim leaders deny the temple existed, putting to question Israel's claims on the holy city of Jerusalem.
I think what begins as a religious issue of contention has obviously within the past 50 years become a heavily political issue as well.
People will always want to rewrite stories They will want to claim things for themselves. And this is a tension that we have with, let me be very specific, with our Christian and Muslim brethren in the world.
People would tell me sometimes, show me an evidence of the temple. Show me a physical remnant. You cannot hold the rope in both ends. You cannot prohibit excavations upon the Temple Mount and then ask me to show you remains. If you let me dig upon the Temple Mount, I'll show you the remains.
The idea of temple denial flies in the face of a great deal of archaeological, spiritual, and historical evidence that is the basis of Western civilization.
In the recent years, we are hearing claims that there wasn't any temple on the Temple Mount. And this is all a Zionist invention. None of the scholars consider this as serious claims. We don't have to prove things that are obvious.
On the Temple Mount, this new ideology is the reality.
Some people believe this is also the Jewish temple site. What is the opinion?
But he wants to play by the political something. He wants to change the situation of the area. And we are the Muslim. What we are believe in Quran and what believe at the Prophet of Muhammad and the Holy Land of Islam.
And this is a very interesting thing. The denial of the existence of the temple, I think, is more serious than the denial of the Holocaust.
In the heart of the Holy Land, the search for Herod's temple goes on. Now, one scholar believes proof of this sacred shrine may lie in the gospel accounts of Jesus Christ himself. Donald Ariel of the Israel Antiquities Authority believes the modern-day Al-Aqsa Mosque was once the site of a temple structure known as the Royal Stoa.
The Royal Stoa was a commercial center. Although there were no stocks, it was like a stock market.
Ariel believes this may have been the setting for Jesus' confrontation with the money changers.
We know of the story of Jesus upturning the money changers' tables from many of the Gospels. And when we come to try to think of where the money changers' tables might have been, again, the Royal Stoa is a very logical place.
Now, coin discoveries are painting a picture, revealing the Temple Mount as the site of the Stoa and the site where Christ unleashed his anger.
Jesus was not interested in all the details of temple worship. The commerce that took place on the Temple Mount must have disturbed him. He was more interested in people relating to their Judaism in a more personal way.
And the coins are revealing something else. Ariel believes this was the site of a lost mint, producing currency to finance Jewish life through first-century revolts against Rome.
There were silver coins and bronze coins. The silver coins were found scattered around Jerusalem, but most of the hoards of these silver coins have been found on the Temple Mount itself.
Inside the Israel Antiquities Authority coin vault, Ariel's theories are confirmed. Coins once engraved with the emperors of Rome now bear images of Jerusalem.
On the head side, one sees the temple vessel, and around the temple vessel we can read Shekel Yisrael, Shekel of Israel, In the middle, above the chalice, the year in which it was struck, this says Aleph, year 1. On the other side of the coin, we see the top of the priestly scepter, 3 young pomegranates budding, and around it, the inscription, Yerushalayim HaKadoshah, Holy Jerusalem.
While these coins provide strong evidence, proof of the temple may be much simpler to find. Some say temple remains are still visible in the physical structure of the mount. Along the southern wall, these filled-in arches are believed to be a temple entrance known as the Hulda Gates. Their design corresponding to descriptions by the 1st century writer Josephus. At the mount's southwest corner, this rocky outcropping is said to mark Robinson's Arch. Also described in historical accounts. And, not far away, a rock with an ancient inscription reads, "Of the place of trumpeting." Archaeologists believe this was the temple's top cornerstone, reserved for a trumpeter ringing in the Jewish Sabbath each week. Back at Zaki Zawig and Gabriel Barkai's Sifting Project, volunteers search 400 truckloads of Temple Mount waste.
The dirt of Temple Mount is in a grayish, it has a grayish texture. It's full of ashes.
Very nice.
We're retrieving many artifacts in this project, and by this way we are trying to study whatever we can about the archaeology of the Temple Mount.
So I don't think it's everything. I don't think it will come apart.
At one of the site's many sifting stations, volunteer Wendy Smith has arrived with a tour group from the United States. She and her friends are enjoying a unique experience, searching for Herod's temple from actual Temple Mount remains.
All week we've had such a deep sense of history and a deep sense of the sacredness of this spot, but to actually be able to touch it brings it to a whole nother layer of understanding and appreciation.
And mosaic tile, and several shards of pottery.
And that's not after hours of searching, eh? That's just...
No, that's just minutes of searching.
Yeah.
Minutes of searching.
We've been doing it for about 10 minutes.
Back at the perimeter of the Western Wall, controversial new discoveries are being revealed. From the lost tunnels of the temple, the first sacred temple relic ever found. And stunning allegations that the Western Wall is a hoax and Herod's temple never existed.
In our excavation, what we see here, the foundation of the Western Wall. See, this is the first stone that built here on the bedrock. I am on the bedrock, and this is the first stone.
Jews believe their ancestors prayed on this sacred hillside for centuries. But up until now, no evidence of Jewish spiritual life has ever been found.
And if you look here, we can see how the bedrock turned. This is part of the corner of the temple.
At the Temple Mount's southwest corner, archaeologist Eli Shukran of the Israel Antiquities Authority and Dr. Ronnie Reich of Haifa University have unearthed a rare clue along a section of wall not touched by human hands for more than 2,000 years.
For archaeologists, an important discovery is a discovery which adds new information or a novel idea, and not necessarily spectacular objects.
6 meters below ground, Shukran and Reich have discovered an ancient clay imprint. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing, until Reich recognized the sacred writing on the tiny object.
Now we found recently in the sifting, it's a seal impression. It's a sort of token. It has 6 letters saying, when I translate it into Hebrew at least, pure to God.
Reich believes it may be a spiritual token, purchased by a pilgrim arriving in Jerusalem.
It's like a coupon or so, and with this went to the storerooms of the Temple Mount and got in exchange a type of sacrifice. With which he went later to the altar of sacrifice and sacrificed it.
If they are right, it would be the first evidence of Jewish spiritual activity ever found from the Temple Mount. Centuries before Muslims arrived here. A bold claim to the existence of Herod's temple.
After 25 years in Jerusalem, making excavation all over the city, this is the most important object that I found that gives us some information about what's happening in the temple. And it came from the temple itself.
But in today's political climate, Reich and Shukran's discoveries will not be enough to reverse the shift in Muslim ideology. For Muhammad Abuktesh of the Waqf, the Temple Mount is a Muslim shrine in the heart of a Muslim city, now occupied by Israel.
This Dome of the Rock where Muhammad traveled by the sky and to God. Here the land of the Prophet and the Holy Land of Islam.
I think that today in Jerusalem, in the old city, everything is about politics, also archaeology. I think it's very hard, maybe even impossible to do pure archaeologist excavations without considering or without being influenced by the political aspects and social aspects as well. The budgets of many excavations are budgets that are coming from the Prime Minister's office directly. The involvement of the Prime Minister's office in the old city is very high.
Dr. Dan Bahat of the University of Toronto sees things differently.
Whenever something is discovered, a Hebrew inscription, Jewish coins, Herodian architectural pieces, and anything, they will say that this is fake stuff which was made up by the Jews in order to prove the existence of Jerusalem.
You know, it's political, this area under the occupation. We are praying the Muslim and the Christian of this city to be in peace without occupation.
It is a debate in which Yonatan Mitzraki attempts to see through the politics.
With all the respect to your belief or to somebody's belief in the temple, there's other beliefs and other reality. So the question is, can we separate between our belief and continuing the life of Jerusalem? Many times people coming and criticizing what the Muslim Waqf is doing in the Temple Mount, but you have to remember the balances between what Israeli controlling and having comparing to them.
For Dan Bahat, there is no questioning the past. He has explored the Temple Mount region for decades. Underground, among some of the world's most fascinating stonework, Bahat believes the true secrets of the temple lie undiscovered.
This is the western retaining wall of the Temple Mount. Its continuation further to the south is the so-called Wailing Wall where the Jews are praying at. You've got here enormous 4 blocks of stones. This one, the biggest stone ever found in this country, which is one of the largest in the world. You see the stone starts here, and it ends, look, you can see yourself how far it is. You see? It goes all the way to here. You see, all this is one enormous stone.
Bahat claims these stones, weighing 600 tons each, are the Temple Mount's greatest mystery.
The efforts to put them here was such that you have to think of a very serious reason why such efforts will be invested in the construction of the wall. The only answer which I can give to the reason why, I believe that here inside the Temple Mount, there is an enormous vault. And this one is the counterforce which holds the vault in place.
Behind these walls, Bahat believes the treasures of the temple have lie hidden for 2,000 years.
So altogether, I think we have here a testimony to the existence of subterranean structures under the Temple Mount.
But he knows this is the most sensitive sacred shrine on Earth, and an excavation here could unleash a religious holy war of global proportions.
Anything could be found there if we could reach it. I'll tell you what, it doesn't look that serious, but if I dig inside here, I'll dig for World War III.
While Dan Bahat avoids confrontation beneath the Temple Mount, investigators on the perimeter are racing to prove the existence of Herod's temple. But in the midst of political turmoil, that race will soon be stopped in its tracks by an unexpected subterranean discovery. Back at the sifting site, these amateur archaeologists are hitting their stride in an operation that has been analyzing the rubble of the Temple Mount for more than 7 years, employing the services of more than 10,000 volunteers.
That is a very impressive thing. You do not have such an exposure in other archaeological projects. And this is unique because of the special nature of the Temple Mount.
But years into the project, Gabriel Barkai is distressed. The temple denial movement continues to grow.
To my amazement, groups in the West, both in Europe as well as in America, they pick up these ideas, and I'm frequently asked, what proof do you have that there was ever a temple of the Jews upon the Temple Mount? That is very strange. That is very strange. But of course it is a political tool.
In the trenches, American volunteer Wendy Smith has sifted several bucket loads and now believes she may finally have something.
It looks like a coin shape. And she said those are hard to figure.
I think you're right.
See.
It's green. And they were saying that if it's green, then
it might
could be a coin.
It might be. Yeah, Dina, can you look at something? Is
What
that
you got?
possibly a coin?
Yes it is. Very lucky group.
Well done, guys, we have another coin.
And in the next station over, Daniel Graham from Topeka, Kansas, is not far behind.
Well, I don't think this is actually a coin. It's a little bit too thin for that.
It's not a rock.
It's not a rock. It's not.
No, it's going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing. Pretty sure. Spellegame? Spellegame? Good. Okay, it is. Good. Good. Nummer 2. Okay, guys, a bronze coin, and we're now going to the finder. Okay. It is a coin.
It is a coin.
I just kind of poured it out and reached down, and there it was. Gabi Barkai said it was from medieval period. So cool. Excited.
As another team leaves the site, founder Zahi Zawig believes the discoveries made here are slowly painting a picture of first century Jerusalem.
You know, for us archaeologists, the main information comes from the small finds, from the prevalent finds, such as pottery, bones, glass. They tell us a lot about the history of the sites.
Despite the efforts of Barkai and Zawig, they've barely scratched the surface. years of sifting remain from the 400 truckloads of debris removed from the Temple Mount more than a decade ago. For now, the Temple Mount is a stalemate, caught between two faiths and two cultures.
Unfortunately, in these days, because of political reasons, the Muslims are denied completely the existence of the temple on this site.
Obviously, everybody's trying to increase his holds wherever he can, that's for sure. Both of them are not willing to give it to the other side, and that's what makes it so tense.
Muslims are free to worship on the Temple Mount, but have no claims to the holy city of Jerusalem. For Jews, their place of worship has been relocated to a sacred site along the Temple Mount's western or Wailing Wall. Some even believe it marks the foundations of the temple itself.
We are standing now in the Western Prayer Plaza by the western retaining wall of the Temple Mount, which became, from the beginning of the 17th century, a substitute to the holy place of Judaism. You can see from all the motion which you see around here how holy it is and how important when 24 hours a day people are coming, praying, and looking around.
Now, a discovery at the foot of the wall challenges the sacredness of this shrine.
Me and my partner Eli Shukron, we dig outside the Temple Mount area, just next to, parallel to the western wall of the Temple Mount area.
It is one of the most controversial digs in recent memory. Along with their discovery of a sacred seal imprint, Shukron and Reich have now revealed a new cache of coins in an ancient purifying bath buried deep underground.
In one place, one of the ritual baths, the western wall was built over it, really crossing it, above it, in the debris which was found in this ritual bath. We sifted it, of course, and found 17 coins.
You can see the steps that build on the bedrock. That steps is part of the ritual bath that the western wall built on it. And the coins that we found it here, in this area.
The coins have been preserved for 2,000 years, untouched since construction of the western wall itself. When Eli Shukron realized what he had uncovered, he consulted one of Israel's top coin experts.
I took the coins from the library and I go to Israeli Museum to Dr. Donald Ariel.
Upon close examination, Shukron and Ariel realized it was not the coins themselves that were important, rather the date that was stamped on them.
The coins turned out to be very revealing. Instead of the coins dating as late as Herod, they went beyond the dates of Herod, and the coins date as late as the early 20s CE.
And then we can date that stone to 20 years after King Herod.
The coins, found beneath a wall said to be built by Herod, were minted after Herod's death.
So here's a coin of year 5 of Tiberius, minted in Jerusalem, and this is the latest well-dated coin we have from the fill that now is getting all the excitement because it redates at least one piece of the Herodian support wall to the time of Tiberius, well after Herod's death.
Before we thought that all the walls around the Temple Mountain built by King Herod, and now we understand that here in this area, King Herod didn't build the Western Wall.
So these coins from the fill are the biggest numismatic discovery in many years regarding Jerusalem and the Temple Mount.
For Donald Ariel, it suggested a troubling timeline, a window of opportunity for temple deniers to finally prove their claim.
I immediately thought someone's going to take this information and twist it in a way to suggest that Jews were not on the Temple Mount at all.
And he's right. Some in the anti-temple community are suggesting the discovery puts to question the existence of Herod's temple. A major question mark for Judaism. But archaeologists believe the power of the Western Wall is too great. While Herod might not have built it, evidence reveals it was part of a larger temple compound, built in the decades following Herod's death. They say the sacredness of this shrine will live on.
Certainly in the Jewish world, I don't think the new discovery will have an effect. The wall does support the Temple Mount, and Jews will continue to pray to the Western Wall.
And this is part of Jerusalem. It didn't change nothing. Because we're talking about the same years.
The Western Wall or the Wailing Wall stays the same. The dating is perfect Second Temple period, before the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 Common Era.
The destruction of Herod's temple marked a major turning point for Jews and their claims to Israel. With the temple at the heart of their faith, they were now a nation without a home.
For Israel, the temple is not just a building. The temple is the place where God dwells. If you imagine that the temple is built out of stone that has to be dragged by human beings and constructed over a period of decades, and then is also the spiritual and cultural center of an entire nation of people, it was not just that a building was destroyed, it was that an entire people's way of life and their hope and their day-to-day worship was destroyed.
When the temple was destroyed, that suddenly stopped. We've been in exile for 2,000 years.
The destruction of the temple in the summer of the year 70 Common Era is the end of the Jewish state.
Jews were not welcome in the former lands of Israel and were scattered to the corners of the earth.
Diaspora it's a Greek word meaning dispersion of the Jewish people.
The destruction of the Second Temple is the beginning of that period of Jewish history known as the diaspora. It's the period when Jews were forbidden by law to live in Jerusalem. They scattered far and wide.
This is a very special history of a people who went to exile for the second time. They had already experienced an exile several hundred years earlier, but at the first exile they returned after 50 years. Here we are coming back after 1,900 years, let's say. Hopefully we will never experience such a traumatic event again.
Today, with the reestablishment of the State of Israel, the future of the Temple Mount is being debated. Will it remain a spiritual home to Muslims? Or will construction soon begin on a prophesied third temple?
The temple is the focus of our prayers. We mourn the temple's destruction.
We really kind of focus as Jews spiritually to the destruction of the Second Temple. This is about construction. And the Third Temple is integration. Everybody comes to the Third Temple.
The temple is the spiritual center of the Jewish people, and it is sort of like the soul of the Jewish people. In the same way that a person who is colorblind, you can't describe to him what red and green are, it's hard to describe exactly what we're missing because we haven't really experienced it in a long time.
Our prayers are always focused on the rebuilding of the temple. 7 times a day, in our official formal prayer services, we ask for the rebuilding of the temple. Now, if you would count the number of prayers that constitutes over the last 2,000 years, it's hundreds and hundreds of millions of prayers. It's billions of prayers. We are very focused on needing the temple.
It is a controversial question at the holiest site on earth.
On the Temple Mount cannot be any other house of prayer, just the house of God, the temple of God. Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock that were built on the location of the temple will be removed. We have very good engineers that will take them stone by stone and rebuild them back in Mecca, the most holy place of the Muslims. The Temple Mount will become again the location of the third temple.
Any idea of rebuilding the temple in human terms and political terms obviously would cause a lot of problems. I'm not looking to do it that way. This is the chief rabbi of Haifa some years ago said, when we'll rebuild the temple is when the Arabs ask us to rebuild the temple. The building of the third temple is not divisive, but it will be unifying. It will be ending division. Right now, the idea of the third temple is really accepted and looked forward to by religious Jews and Christians. The Muslims, obviously not, but it's going to be for everybody. When the Muslim comes to the Holy Temple, the third temple, he is going to have a vision of Allah. Now, I don't know how that's going to be, but everybody who comes to the temple sees a revelation of God. So it's going to mean as much to him, to the Muslim, as it is to the Jew.
As with many aspects of life in Jerusalem, there is little consensus.
We really don't need it in order to keep Judaism as a spiritual, God-loving religion.
You get ideas like this, crazy ideas sometimes, thinking that things of the past, that we could just bring them back and reconstruct them again, things would be all right again. I have a feeling that's not the case.
We believe that Jerusalem must be considered as a World Heritage Site. Jerusalem must be open to different cultures. This is the only future that I see for Jerusalem, and I think that any other future for Jerusalem is very dangerous.
I don't know what the future of the Temple Mount will be, but it doesn't look good.
For first-century civilization, it was considered the world's most beautiful structure. Its destruction set the stage for 2,000 tumultuous years of Jewish history. Today, the Temple Mount remains at the center of conflict. With a new understanding of the Western Wall, Jews have survived another challenge to their place in this holy city. Moving forward, the treasures of the temple past will continue to map this region's political future.
And I will say it, maybe some people will not agree with me. Thank God the temple was destroyed. And when we see it again rebuilt, I'm afraid that we'll come back to paganism. You didn't like it, did you?
I don't like it.
Good, that's good. To feel God, you need temple? I don't. I love God without it. Believe me, more. It is spiritual and not physical.